Hello, Foreign View. My name is Gumlin-31AFD. You can find me on VR chat, such as the platform I'm recording on right now. This world is a public world. I'm pretty sure it's just for testing your avatars, how they reflect light, all that stuff. You can find this world within VR chat by searching up Lightbox. So, feel free to find it if you're in VR chat and you want to know where I recorded this. Boom. You have it. It's all here. There's a mirror right there that you can toggle on. There's all that fun stuff. Anyways, let me express the things that I'm going to say in this video and what topics they're going to be on. I'm going to introduce myself, such as I just did. Then I'm going to explain some concerns that I have. Then I'm going to tell where I've been, such as on VRChat, which communities I've been in, and what communities I'm a part of. Then I'm going to tell you what full body tracking I'm using. Because yes, I do use full body. I use some forms of PCVR. Then I'm going to express and tell about Game Sense and Phantom Sense, their differences and what they have in similar. Then some avatar basics. Anyways, about where I've been. I've been in several communities, seen some rise, fall, and I've seen some rises, stay, and then fall. Communities that I'm a part of are such as the Skibidi Toilet community, the Hasbin Hotel community, the VR Chat community, the Steam VR community, the Steam in general community, the Unity community, and also the Avatar creation community. Because the avatar that I'm wearing right now is made by me, but not from scratch. You can find this model on Sketchfab. You can find these textures on Sketchfab, and these stars that are orbiting, you can find their textures on the Unity Asset Store, or you can use the default Unity particle if you can't find them. But most of the particles that I'm given, such as the textures for these stars, I was given by close friends of mine. Or I found them in Discord servers, or I found them in servers that just were giving them out. I don't know if they're ripped. I was never informed if they're ripped. I don't know if some things on here are ripped. I know the body model isn't because I got it from its direct source, which is from Deltail and his Avatar Discord server. It's in his prefab releases. I'm pretty sure you can find his Discord server from other people, or you can find it by searching up Deltail's Avatar server or something. I'll probably leave a description below on its name, and I'll probably leave something below on what you would search to find it. Anyways, now that that's out of the way, on where I've been, what I'm doing, and what I'm creating, which is stuff like this. I create avatars that are humanoid or vaguely humanoid, and I make them into VRChat avatars for people to wear. I'm planning to release a public one of this where you can choose your shape, your color, your suit color, your spells, all that stuff. But if you're wondering what I mean by spells, I mean stuff like this. Obviously, that's pretty basic, but I've gotten better. And I'm going to do stuff such as this, where you can choose your outfit and it does a little animation like that. I plan to be making fun stuff for people to wear. I've already uploaded a few avatars. You can do that by going to Prismix Avatar Search and searching up Gumlin-31AFD in the author search, and you can find me there. Anyways, now that that's also out of the way on what I do, concerns that I have. I'm concerned not everyone is going to cope with the fact that their community cannot stay. Communities rise, they fall, they go, they come, and they do all these things. But it's important to enjoy the luxuries of life while you still have time. After all, I've had to deal with some things, minor and major things, that have affected me. But you always learn from mistakes, and you always learn from things that are thrown at you. Anyways, now that concerns are out of the way, full body tracking, what I'm using. This stuff, full body tracking, it is fun. It makes the game feel more alive, and what I mean by feel, I don't mean that I have Phantom Sense. It just looks better, in my opinion. It looks nicer, It doesn't seem weird to just be having the default animation and it's slide. Slide. Anyways, enough with the playful stuff. What FBT I'm using is Slime VR. I love using it. It was $205 for 5 of them. Then I bought 5 more, and doing the math would come out to $410, but I had to pay $500 and slightly more dollars because of tax. Tax is not fun. I'll admit that. But hey, you do with what you do. But you can find Slime VR trackers on a little website called Crowd Supply, and you can find them there. I'm sure some people that are watching this may be like, Crowd Supply, that's not Amazon. That shouldn't be trusted at all. Well, that is not entirely true. Some ordering websites are safe. It just matters on if you have a VPN, and if your VPN tells you, hey, you probably shouldn't be on this website. It's having malware stuff. It's malicious. It's being evil. Stuff like that. As long as your VPN doesn't tell you that, I'm pretty sure it's safe. However, I wouldn't 100% trust the VPNs because sometimes they mess up, sometimes they don't. But I do recommend getting VPNs and stuff like that. Obviously, I'm not supported or sponsored by any of these. I'm just saying it's very important to get a VPN. It protects you, it allows you to actually have online safety and secrecy, and it's very nice. So I'd recommend getting a VPN. Anyways, now on to what I do. Wait, no, we've already been on that. Sorry, my bad. Phantom Sense stuff. Yes, Phantom Sense, Game Sense. Two sides of a different coin, but one and the same. Imagine feeling like, put this in basic understanding. Imagine you extend your arm, then someone taps or pokes your arm. You know what that feels like. You know what that feeling is, and you know what it's like to be poked or tapped or any of that. So it's obvious to assume that sometimes your brain can get mixed up and it can have a little bit of a mess up, and it can be like, oh, wait, I'm being tapped. I should probably be feeling this right now. And that's what Phantom Sense, or in other words, Game Sense is. Phantom Sense is way different from Game Sense, and Game Sense is way different from Phantom Sense, but they share something. Such as feeling something that should not be felt. Phantom Sense is for amputees that have lost a limb or have lost a appendage or part of their body when they used to have it and they imagine feeling that. Usually happens when someone loses a leg or loses an arm or loses a hand. Usually happens. Game Sense is imagining you're in the game and imagining you can feel everything that's happening in the game. And all of that just, it's confusing. And me with 5,000 hours, I still don't have it. I still don't have Phantom Sense. The only way I could get Phantom Sense is in the hands because of one thing: haptic feedback. I love haptic feedback. It allows me to pretend I'm in the game, like I can play patty cake with people. That's fun. I like to play games with people. Not the little mental games, but I love to play VR chat games with people. I love to do like rock, paper, scissors, shoot with people. I'm a very interactive guy when people know me. But speaking of which, VR chat games. I recommend, if you like playing games, stay away from instances such as Black Cat or just Hangout instances, because they will not give you the same rush or adrenaline feel such as other games, such as Infested Reborn, Murderer, and other games like that, such as Among Us. Yes, Among Us! I'm not at all sponsored by these people. Do not copyright me. I'm just saying as examples. I'm not at all saying that I'm sponsored by these people, and I'm not at all saying I'm getting money from these people. I'm getting nothing from saying these people, and I'm just recommending you try them at least once, because they are super fun. Obviously, I said the exact names of those games, so if you wish to, go on to VR Chat, search them up, find them. Be my guest. play the games. Just don't say you got it from me, or else I could get in trouble with copyright problems. But something very important, especially about this video and about me. I don't get anything out of doing this. The only thing that I get is just clarity. I'm happy that I get to record a video that expresses who I am, that tells the people who I am, and what I've done and where I've been, and all this stuff. And I'm super, super grateful that you're listening, you're actually here, and that you've listened to me yap and ramble and talk and all this stuff. And I'm super grateful that you decided to stick around and maybe considered pressing the like button or the subscribe button. But I'm not saying you at all have to. I'm just saying consider it because I could upload again. You may never find me again, plus I'm a small creator. But if you enjoyed this content of me yapping in front of a camera, and you enjoyed me walking around with full body, and saying where I got my stuff, saying how I've made avatars such as this one, and saying all that stuff, I highly encourage that you click the subscribe button and make sure the bell notifications are on. Because if anything, if you liked it, you won't want to miss another one. But it's all that important that you just comment. I've expressed myself and I've told you about myself, and I'd like to get to know you too. Sure, I may not know you, sure, I may already know you, but I want to get to know everyone better. I want to be able to bring people to a community where they don't have to worry about the drama or any of this shenanigan stuff. I just want people to be people and to enjoy being around other people. And no matter if you're introverted, extroverted, or ambiverted, I don't care about that. I just want you to be happy and I just want you to be safe. I may not know you or I may know you, but I still care about well-beings and I still care about what you've done to get here. If you don't like me, that's fine by me. If you like what I do, yay, come back. I'll upload another video soon enough. I'm not sure exactly when, considering I'm a small avatar creator and a small YouTuber, but hey, if you like what I do, you know what to do. Anyways, it's been a pleasure talking, and I'm still ever so grateful that you let me yap and ramble and talk and be in front of the camera and stuff. But enough about me. You know what to do. Peace out.